Minutes, I'm going to put forward a request for the Senate to confirm the nomination of Rebecca Jones-Gaston to serve as Commissioner on Children, Youth, and Families within the Department of Health and Human Services. I briefly want to talk about why her confirmation is so important and what makes her the right person for the job. The administration on children, youth, and families may not grab national headlines every day, but its work is essential to the well-being of millions of young people and families across the land. That is particularly true for vulnerable children, including those in the child welfare system. One of its big jobs over the last few years has been the implementation of the Family First Prevention Services Act. The landmark reform of the child welfare system was written by the Finance Committee on a bipartisan basis. And for colleagues who remember the late Orrin Hatch, who cared so much about children and particularly welfare reform, this and the extension of the Children's Health Insurance Program for 10 years, the longest extension ever, were the two bills for children that Chairman Hatch really felt strongly about. The underlying goal of the legislation, which I was proud to co-sponsor with him, was simple. The foster care system was breaking families up too often. We designed the Family First Act to keep families together whenever it was safe and possible to do so. Maybe a grandparent is the right person to step in as a caretaker for their grandkids. I have been particularly involved in having grandparents play a bigger role in human services program. It's known as kinship care. We've been working on it for well over a decade. Chairman Hatch helped us expand it. Maybe all that's needed for a family to thrive is to help with mental health care for mom or dad. And with a little more flexibility in the program and a little more support, more families stay together and get ahead. The underlying goal that Chairman Hatch and I had was simple, but implementation has certainly been a challenge. It's required a lot of close collaboration between the Department of Health and Human Services, the Finance Committee, and state and local agencies. My view is when you're talking about reforms dealing with the well-being of our youngest, particularly vulnerable kids, it's just critical to get it right. That's why Rebecca Jones-Gaston is the right person to lead the administration on children, youth, and family services. She currently serves as the Child Welfare Director for Oregon's Department of Human Services. She is showing herself to be an effective leader and a strong advocate for the vulnerable. She served in a similar role in the state of Maryland under a Republican governor. So this is somebody who shows up every single day, willing to work with elected officials on both sides of the aisle. All in all, she brings nearly 25 years of experience in public policy dealing with support for families and children. The Finance Committee approved her nomination on a bipartisan basis in March. My view is the full Senate has waited long enough. Ms. Gaston is a highly qualified nominee, and the administration on children, youth, and families needs a confirmed leader. Mr. President, therefore, I ask unanimous consent that the Senate consider the following nomination. Calendar 763, Rebecca E. Jones-Gaston to be Commissioner on Children, Youth, and Families, Department of Health and Human Services. That the Senate vote on the nomination without intervening action or debate. The motion to reconsider be considered made and laid upon the table, and that any statements related to the objection be printed in the record.